right, Movement Church. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well. Listen, I know I told you that I have a big surprise. I have a really big surprise for you. Now, let me kind of fill you in before I give you the actual juicy stuff to let you know what's been going on lately. So, in the middle of this pandemic, we've been running around trying to keep things going and figuring out how to do online worship and things like that. And so one of the things that many of you may not know is the fact that our lease agreement is up at the end of this month for our current space. It's been a great home for us for the last, I think, 6 years or so. We've been blessed to be able to be there. It's come with its blessings. It's come with its blessings disguised as challenges. And so one of the things that we've been doing as a church staff is we've been looking at what is next for us. Is this the spot that we want to be in for years to come, or is there something more maybe that God has planned for us? And one of the things that's been on our hearts for a while is, what if God opened the door for us to have a permanent location? And so we started to investigate those things in the last few months. We looked at things like how we would get a mortgage and whether or not we would get approved for one. We looked at buildings. Some of them were really big and filled with potential but would cost a fortune to fix up. Others were fixed up really nicely, but they just didn't quite fit with the things that we were really needing in order to continue to do ministry, the things that God had placed on our hearts to continue to do ministry to this community. And then God, out of nowhere, sent the pastor of Lockwood to Marsha Watson, my assistant, you know her, you love her, and said, hey, let's have a conversation soon. And so out of nowhere, this guy comes to us and said, hey, listen, we are struggling financially, and we were wondering if you guys would be interested in possibly partnering with us. And so here's what's happening. As of right now, we are pursuing a rental agreement with Lockwood United Methodist Church to share this space, which is going to do a couple of things. First of all, it's going to save us a ton of money on overhead, which means there's going to be more money for ministry, more money to save up so that we can do greater ministry down the road. That's the first thing. The second thing is we are going to be able to help and support another ministry to make sure that they can continue and do the things that they do. For example, they have a 100-person AA meeting that meets in this space. They have a food pantry. They feed several hundred families every single month, and they're struggling. And so for us to be able to come in and to serve some Christian brothers and sisters and be able to help them, that's a huge blessing for us. And then the cherry on top of the whole thing is that through this rental agreement, this is a beginning stage in pursuit of this becoming the permanent home of Movement Church. I am so excited to show this thing to you guys. Let me give you a tour real quick and show you and kind of cast vision for you of what we're envisioning for this space. All right, come on, follow along. Let's go. All right, so first and foremost, when you first get in the building, there's going to be greeters there that are going to be hopefully shaking hands sometime soon, making people feel welcome, making them feel excited to be here, whether they're a first-time guest or they've been here for years, making them feel welcome. And then we're all going to get filtered into this welcome space. And we're going to have things hopefully in this area like coffee and donuts and that conversation, that first touch that we get to have with our guests, really making them feel at home and getting to have some conversation before we ever enter the worship experience area, the auditorium or the sanctuary. And the beautiful thing about this is going to be the space where people start to feel like they belong even before they believe. And that's going to be so crucial, so important, and you guys have a role to play in that. Now, let's move on to the worship area, the sanctuary, the auditorium, whatever you want to call it. Here it is. This place is huge. I mean, it's just massive. Our church, at first, is going to feel like a drop in the bucket at this place. I mean, all of these pews, there's so much history here. This place used to be packed out. Like, there was a time in its heyday when this entire room was just filled with families and babies crying and all kinds of awesome stuff. There were people up here worshiping. There were pastors up front preaching the gospel, sharing Jesus with the people in this room. And here's the cool thing. That was the past, but I believe the future can be just the same. That God could once again fill this massive worship space with people coming to worship Jesus, to share them with their friends. Let's think about this for a second. Imagine this place filled with your friends, your family, people from this community that we love, that we've reached out to in the past, just completely packing this place out at some point, all to worship Jesus, all to glorify Him. And the potential for ministry in this place is just huge. Now, I know at first you kind of take a look at it and you're like, wow, this is definitely what I'm not used to, right? It's very much so traditional, but the reality is it's a workable space, and we can start moving gradually toward a style that works for us and for Lockwood so that we can do ministry together, and the potential is massive. There's so much room here, all right? I'm so excited for this. Let's go take a look at some of the other worship spaces here at this church. Needed a break. This place is huge. You gotta take breathers. You're getting all your steps in. You want your 10,000 steps. You come to Move a Church one Sunday in this place, you're gonna get all of your steps in, guaranteed. We're taking a walk now to what is the future home of Kids Zone, all right? So come on, follow me. Let's go. All right, so obviously I'm not gonna walk through every single room. This space is huge, this whole building is massive, but this is one of our potential kids spaces. I mean, look at the size of this thing. I mean, it's insane. This is as big as two of our Kids Zone rooms combined, and it's only one of the rooms. I mean, you can just picture it right now. Kids running around, laughing, having a good time, learning about Jesus, hearing the gospel from their teachers, and making these friendships with each other that are gonna last a lifetime. I mean, this is an amazing, amazing potential area for ministry that God has blessed us with, and our kids are going to reap the benefits for years to come. Very excited about this space. Let's go now and check out where the Exchange most likely will be meeting on Wednesdays. All right, look at this room. All right, listen, it's not glorious as it is now, but here's the thing. If you've been a part of the Exchange, if you've ever volunteered or you're a teenager and you've been a part of it, one thing that the Exchange has not had in years is a room of their own. And not only would they have a room of their own here, they could potentially have multiple rooms of their own to paint and to make up and to have games and video games and have worship services and small group hangout areas to connect with Jesus. The volunteers, I mean, it's just so much potential. That's the word of the day, is potential. And the Exchange would finally not have to set up and tear down everything every single week. They would have their own space to call their own. Let me show you a little bit from the rest of this building that could also have some impact on the Exchange, some other cool things that are going on up here. Follow me. So you'll notice that I'm actually skipping a lot of rooms. I did the same thing on the bottom floor. I'm doing the same thing up here. That's because it would take forever to walk you through all of them. We are obviously not going to be using all of them just because it doesn't make sense to do that right now. But there is room to expand here for years to come. And so again, potential, it's great. Check this out. Now listen, this again is not, it's not designed up to what we would hope to eventually have it designed as, but you can just see the potential and the size and the scope of these rooms. We've got 2 pool tables, a ping pong table over there. We still have more room over here. I mean, it's just massive. And you can just think about being a teenager in this community. You're a high school kid, you're struggling with all kinds of things. You're struggling with your self-worth and your identity and relationship things and family things. And you get to come into a safe environment where you can hang out with your friends. You can have a little bit of privacy from the rest of the building as a student ministry. And you have an opportunity to grow in that kind of an environment and to really dig down into your faith. I think it's going to be a huge blessing to our teenagers to be in this space. And that's it. So that's it for the Exchange. Let me take you now all the way down to the basement level. We actually have only seen about 2/3 of the building so far. There's more to see, so follow me. All right, so this area is really, really cool, very important, very special to my heart, and I know to so many other people. You'll notice back here there's a full kitchen, there's refrigerators, there's stoves. I mean, you're talking about church dinners and things like that. I mean, it's gonna make it so much easier. You'll also notice there are tablecloths covering up these bags. This is something that is so cool. So Lockwood has had this long-standing food pantry ministry for many, many years that we would want to continue to support. As part of our supporting them, we would want to make sure that we are joining them in this partnership to keep the food pantry going. They're serving hundreds of families every single month, and this is where it happens. People can come here and they can get food, they can get clothes, whatever it is that they need. This is something we're going to want to see continue for many years to come, to make sure that the needs of our community and the surrounding communities are being met. It's a very simple way for us to example the gospel to people, and so to partner with them, huge opportunity for us. Now let me walk you over here. So this is just a small part of the basement. Let me show you the bigger part. So it opens up down here, right? So all of these things that you see here, this little store they have here, this is also part of the food pantry. This is serving those people who are in need. People can come in and get some things for free, or they can pay a few bucks or donate a few dollars in order to take some of these items home. Just another way of helping them out. They have big group meetings back here. Like I said, they have a large AA meeting. They are working with people in recovery, or at least they have the groups come into the building. And very similar to ours, we serve our community in the same way. This is a bigger scope and scale, but again, the potential for spaces like these is just virtually endless. Big open rooms, man. We can get excited about it. We can truly come in here and gradually see it become something that is beautiful and powerful for ministry purposes. All right, let's walk through here real quick. We're gonna go outside, and then I'm gonna give you a couple of finishing thoughts and what we need to do moving forward. Let's go. All right, just kidding. We're not going outside. We're gonna actually stay right here in the sanctuary. I want you to get one more look around the place, one more feel for what it's like, and just to understand that God can do something amazing in this place. Now, let me tell you a couple of things real quick. First of all, what I need you to understand as we move into this building, that you need to understand that the church, again, is not a building. It is crucial that you understand that. And the reason for that is because when we come into this place, we do not want to come in here with a spirit of complacency and feeling like we've arrived. In fact, we want the opposite to be true. This is just another opportunity for us to do more ministry to more people, to reach more people with the gospel, to love more people, to see more people comforted and helped by the ministry that we have here, and to see what God can really do. And so the church is not a building, but nevertheless, we're blessed to be able to be in this space. Here's the other thing, and this is sort of the big challenging thing that I have to really kind of stir you up and encourage you to join us in, which is that we have to get out of our building completely by May 31st. That's when our lease is up, and so we have to get out of there. Now, this is a tricky thing. And the reason it's tricky is because we can't just pick up our stuff and move it out. Our building was originally a commercial space. It was like a big open room for those of you who were there at the beginning. And we put up the walls and we did all those things. And many of you contributed and donated to those things to get us to this point. But now, as we're getting ready to leave, one of the stipulations of our lease agreement is that we have to take it all out. Meaning the walls, the studs, all of that stuff, which means all of us as a church for the next few weeks, as much as we are able to spare our time and our energy, we are going to be on a demolition crew, taking stuff out, throwing it in the trash, moving it over here. We are going to have to be a wrecking crew. We're going to have to be efficient, and we're going to have to work together. But the beautiful thing, as frustrating as it is, as much as that part of it stinks, that in the end, it is going to be worth it. To be able to come in, to settle in, and to pursue what we see as this permanent home where many, many people can come to know Christ. And so it's the beginning of something new. I'm excited that God is shaking things up. I'm amazed at the way that He has brought all of this together. Jim, the pastor here, has been absolutely incredible. We've met with the leaders here. They have been absolutely incredible. They are so happy and joyful to have us here, to work with us in this space, to see ministry and to see life and to see kids running through these halls again. They are so excited to have us here. I'm excited for you to meet them and to begin having services here. And so I want to encourage you, keep an eye out for all of the opportunities that you have to serve, the opportunities that you have to make a difference by helping us get out of that old building and into this one. And man, be praying, because I truly believe the best is yet to come. Let's see what God can do through us in this place. I love you, Movement Church. I hope you're as pumped as I am. We will talk to you and see you real soon.